As I begin the first phrase, before I begin the first sentence, the little thing I want to tell you is that when I get into this work, when I'm relaxed, and I definitely haven't been relaxed for 2 days now, but when I get in and I smoke my joint, I don't smoke much of the joint. I smoke a little bit to get it lifted. Once the element inside my mind starts to lift, I start to let myself calm down. I let my eyes droop a little bit. I don't need to see. I don't want to see. I see enough in here. It keeps coming in. It doesn't blur my vision. I had these dreams 35 to 40 years ago. They were all confusing. It was all numbers and letters, and I couldn't read it. Now I have it. Anyways, the one thing I want to just go over right now is a little bit of Greek. Greek, green, creek, gene, energy, things that come from Greek, first and last, 7 and 2, in between, REE. 7 and 2 is 9, REE is 28, the total will be 37, which is exactly 3 across from 7, 3 sevens to create 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. You go down and over 1, down and over 1. Down and over 1, down and over 1. Creates the X. But the thing about Greek is that we take the Suez Canal, and what do we do with it? We spell it backwards. Z-E-U-S. Zeus. Canal, channel. North America, Anna means year. Annabelle. L and C, 3, the 12th letter is 3. 3, 1, 5, 1, 3. 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, if you write it really down, it says ace, ace. 1, 3, and 5. Then if you actually take the N2, C and A, C and A, 3 and 1 is 4. 4 equals D. L, A, N, D. Land. Zeus land. The letter combination of S and Z and U and E is 71. Reverse that, we get 88. To the 10-10 world, it's 22. To the freedom world, it would be 44. It's not 44, no, excuse me. It has to equal 13. Yeah, 44. 4 and 8 is 13. 4 and 8 is 13, which makes 4 again. Or am I right? Did I say that right? Because I never do it that way. Disregard what I just said, okay? Not the whole thing, just those last 2 numbers. Then what we're going to go here is Panama Canal. Nam, in the name of man, Anna. Canal, Anna. Year, North American. Mother angel, angel mother. Angel passage, angel of 1. Spirit of the 6 islands. 7, 1, 5, 1, 4, 1. 1 for 1 exchange. So we bring the letters down here and we get 46. Or if we count these over to this side, we get 8, 6, and 5. Because they're all with an A, we can work this out to see what it is. 8 by 6, etc., etc. The 5 is the center of the 2 islands of 7 and 2, and Panama is of 8 and 6, the heavens of man. We bring it over to this side, 6 over 4 and 4 over 6. 6 and 4 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. 6 and 4 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. 99 brings it back to a 10, 10. 88 and 11 equals the 99, which equals back to the 11 again. Suez Canal and the Panama Canal. We did canal backwards already. Land of. Now that's a basic of it only. That's a rush. There is more to that, because when you play with the numbers and you keep counting it down to a single digit, you stop where you have gone to. So if you're bringing it down to a single digit, you already know the final answer. By adding it up to start with, you're already going to know what it ends with. Because if you bring something to a single digit, you're only going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. You won't get a zero. Zero doesn't exist. Zero only exists as a passage or a standing place where you're on. I'm sitting here in my chair. I will get up to go wherever I go. So I went. But I come back to my chair. I will sit. I'm sitting on my chair. And now I'm getting up from my chair. First I was sitting, now I'm getting up. Two different things. But the second time when I got up, it was one. And when I went to sit in my seat, it was one. But the one that we get up for is only to go forward to the next one. You take two dice, you go forward two. Not one. The thing is with two dice is that if you throw the dice in Monopoly or many of the games, you get to roll again. So everything, okay, in order to get life, you need a V, the letter V. So you need to throw at least 5. So what happens, you throw the dice, and you get 2. But big deal, you roll over again. So you roll the dice, you get 2. So you were on go, you're still not at the train tracks where you can travel the rest of your, whichever way you want to say it, which travel of your mind. So you take the first dice, you got 1 and 1. You take the second dice, you got 1 and 1. And now, you're definitely getting past the train tracks in the next one. But if you throw 1 and 1 again, it's 6. And the Oriental, you can't get it that way. 1, 1, 1 time, 1, 1, 2 times, 1, 1, 3 times. You had 3 times. 1 and 1 is 2, equaling to 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. But another 1 and 1, and the third time in Monopoly, you go to jail. So if you roll a 7, you're free. You've passed the train tracks. If you roll a 3, you're on the Baltic. The Baltic is part of the skull bones and the skulls that connect with the Suez Canal. All these television programs that we have watched has already been, can I say, preempted. Our life, you see, when you're in the heaven and you know what everything is about, okay, you know what life is basically about. You say, oh, I want to be good, or I want to be this. And then it'll say, well, if you become this, you don't expect to live more than 30 years. But when you're an angel in heaven and God is right next to you, say, what the hell? This is what I want to come to be. So that's why God keeps forgiving us, because we already knew what it was going to be. Now, if we get out of hand, the rest of the regulations come here on earth. You do something really bad that you're not allowed, that the society thinks is against all men, you go to jail. First you came here into God's jail, you stay here till the end of your life. You're not allowed to leave, although you can see the sky and you think you're free, we're still in a great big bubble. Float on the ocean, in the ocean, the compressed air of space. How thick is it? And how can we really float? That the satellites are able to float themselves. Are they floating within the ozone of our circle? What happens and what kind of consistency is there on the outside of the bubble, in space? Hubble, traveling millions of miles? I just can't. I can't. I can see it and I can't. The only way I can see it is if God actually allowed another set of individuals to see the rule book. You see, because if we don't bring the evil into this world, how will the good live with themselves, not knowing the better of the two? Let's leave it at that. There was one other thing. In French, they say jeune, which means young. Then they say to be a jeune. When you go to the hospital and you shouldn't eat, it means a jeune. And when you spell jeune, it's J-E, which means I in French. And then U-N-E, which means one. The word je, J-E, is the 10th letter and the 5th letter. Now, if you take the letter O, which is the 15th letter, forget about 15. Say 10 and 5. You're back to J and E, which says I. So O says I, more or less, Raphael 72, 86. Do I look tired? Oh, I'm so screwed, man. I got so much work. Somebody asked me today, am I getting paid for this? Cash? Money? No, but in most businesses, when you start, it costs a lot of money to start up, and then you fail. But the only thing that will come in a fail is the file. Someone to come in and to plane the surface, to take out the limb, the lime, the rust bucket yellow, but it files things down. You put things in a file and you always wait for the while of the time when you're going to need it again. The end of the file is almost like a line, and fil means a line, or it means a line like an electricity line. Fil. If you would say mil, it would mean a mile or 1,000. Il is an island. It's however it sounds to you. You can create whatever from it. It will always make sense because you are taking something of what it is. It is out, and it is a part. And what we once saw as being one word is now just 5 different letters, in which 3 of the lines are going east-west. The center of the east-west line, like the E, is shorter. If you want to know why the E is shorter, I'm going to show you why the E is shorter. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. I'm going to... Oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I'm going to have to do this a little larger. I write so many pages, so many pages. Just give me a little bit of a second. And what happens is, well, I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to draw. I'm too tired. You see this over here, this little 0? You see the X in the center over here? See the center? It's right here. I draw this line only to the center. I cannot go further than the center because there's the center there. So I would have this line going from here to here. 1 to 1 is 2. Here to here is a half. Or it's 1. This would be ABC. This would be DE. And this would be GHI. This one stops early. The same thing would happen for this one going the other way. So now you have the 2 eyes and the nose that's in between. You will be able to just about design everything in time. I'm just sort of on the threshold of being able to do something on an elevated level, but still I'm in the primary sector of a life of mine that is general, of things that are private. In the Army, the general is high, and the private is nothing at all. See how private eyes work? 7286, Raphael. Thank you.